Yo, back on the YouTube channel again for you guys with some exciting news. We just got the trailer or the first teaser for the Spider-Man Noir, a show that is coming to Prime. I think May. No, not May. I'll look if I get the month, but it's one of these months on the 27th. I have to look back and put it in the description after I'm done with this video. But it dropped. They gave us two versions. They gave us the color version and the black and white version. I watched the black and white version because that's probably how I'm going to watch the show when it comes out. On the first go around, second go around, we'll do color. But it dropped, and I'm going to talk about it. So they gave us a trailer, and it starts off, I think, with some monologue from Nicolas Cage's, of course, Ben Reilly character. Coming back to reprise his role as Spider-Man Noir after he voiced him in the two Spider-Verse movies that we have, and hopefully in the third one, if it ever does come out. So as you know, Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir character does not have the name Peter Parker like he does in the comics. They're changing it, and that's all due to the, I think, rights and restrictions of Sony. It's honestly so upsetting and weird that Sony doesn't like to share their rights. And it's just so weird because they literally doing jack shit with Spider-Man, and they're so stingy about it that they won't even let him use the name Peter Parker. They have to change it to Ben Reilly. So that probably may cause a little confusion since Ben Reilly is an already existing character. He's the Scarlet Spider-Man. Obviously, if you know your stuff here and there. So in the comics, Ben Reilly is the Scarlet Spider-Man, and of course, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? But in this show, he's going to be called Ben Reilly, or I think it's just Ben something Reilly, something like that. But that's what he's going to be called. As we know, he's a private investigator. This is, of course, in the 1930s noir universe. So we get kind of like some hints at, him kind of losing his mind, basically, I guess, with the onset of his powers or whatever, because we see some scenes of him kind of like looking like he's in a daze. We see a jar of glass with a spider in it. We see him talking to Robbie Robertson, which he has a long and rich history in the Spider-Man comics. He's been in the comics. He's been in the Spider-Man comics, I think, since the 1960s. It's like J. Jonah Jameson, and then it's Robert Robertson. He's right up there with him. I think he also grew up with the Tombstone before he was a Tombstone. But yeah, glad to see him in the show. Cannot wait. Love who they chose to be his actor. But yeah, throughout the trailer, we see him kind of just losing his mind, getting into bar fights. My favorite scene in the trailer was literally him in the bar fight with the whole getup on. And he's like dancing and fighting at the same time. He's like, I got a little blasted. I thought that was just awesome. This show's going to be just so nice. We get some scenes of him swinging throughout the city. They look awesome. Like, it just looks great with his hat and everything. I do wonder if we're going to get to see him use his revolvers. Because in the comics, his weapon of choice is usually revolvers. Because a lot of times he's going around busting Nazis and shit like that. So yeah, we see him swinging through the city. I have seen some people online say that Spider-Noir doesn't have any powers, which is incorrect. Even the trailer kind of, I guess, leans on that with the whole, with no power comes no responsibility. But that's just not true. In the comics, Spider-Noir gets his powers. I think he goes to investigate something in a warehouse, and there's this barrel of what is spiders, but he doesn't know it. And it gets knocked over and broken somehow, and all the spiders come out. Or actually, no, wait. Might be, don't fully take my word on this. It's been a minute since I've revisited the origin and looked at some of the noir characters. It was either like a barrel or like a totem, because his origin is very closely tied to the web of life and destiny and like the spider god. I think it was like an idol, and it broke, and a whole bunch of spiders. One of the spiders bit him, and there you go, boom, bam, boom. We get Spider-Man Noir. So I don't know where this whole misconception comes from that Spider-Noir doesn't have powers, when he most certainly does. But yeah, there's that. What else? Oh, I actually didn't notice it in the trailer, but I guess maybe these were like promo images. We get our first looks at Sandman, Electro, Man-Spider, which I've been seeing a lot of people say that that's a Vulture. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be Man-Spider, and then one more, Molten Man. So each of those characters are really nice to see, and their noir versions are really cool. For instance, Electro, he was a reporter that no, he was part of the paparazzi, and he would like take pictures of people. But he had this special camera that would allow it to like basically flashbang somebody, and without them seeing basically kind of who it is, and get dirty pictures on people. Um, but he ended up getting outed, I believe, by what was it? I think Mary Jane Watson on his news outlet. And he basically like returns as like vengeance against Peter with like an electric suit that allows him to shoot electric currents. But he does kind of end up getting mutated into kind of what we see him in the trailer because there's a promo image of his hand and it's like all lit up. He gets into contact with I think it's the McCain crystal. I think somewhere I forget where, but he gets into contact with it and it like mutates his suit like kind of into himself, giving us the more traditional Electro. That's the thing about the noir universe. I wouldn't say it's grounded. I mean, it is, but it is still fantastical. Because there still are characters that still do have powers. Of course, like Spider-Man, case in point. Then we also, like I said, Molten Man. I don't think there's really anything on Molten Man in the noir universe from the comics, but I assume he's probably going to be just like, if not, just similar, if not just the same as his main universe counterpart in the 616 universe, from what it seems. Then we also get a look at Man Spider. Now, not gonna lie, I don't know a lot about Man Spider. Only almost pretty much close to none. So I'm not gonna speak on him. But if one of you guys do know, let me know down in the comments. I'm definitely gonna have the research on him. But I don't know as much on Man Spider. I don't know if there's a version of him in the 616 universe. I do know there is a version of him in another universe where it's Peter. It's really weird. Peter's like this. His name isn't even Peter. Quick little side tangent. He is like this really, like, you thought main universe Peter was nerdy and kind of awkward. No, this dude is like insanely. He's not even nerdy. He's not even awkward. He's like borderline psychotic. He like watches Mary Jane from his room and like talks to himself and writes down anecdotes and stuff. He lives with I think his aunt and his Aunt May and Ben. And then I can't remember how exactly he got his powers, but he gets like really grotesque looking. He gets like little like tusk on the side. He gets like all these different eyes, all these different extra arms, and I think he wraps up people and like eats them. It's a crazy version of Spider-Man. I'll try to find that comic and put it in the description. You guys could definitely go check that out. But yeah, and then we get another look at, and then we get a look at Sandman. Now, Sandman in the Noir universe isn't like Sandman in the 616 main universe. He doesn't have the traditional Sandman powers where he can turn himself into sand, grow large, or whatever. They call him the Sandman because when he knocks you out, you go to sleep, hence case in point, the name Sandman. But Spider-Man Noir in the comics has stated that his skin does feel like graphite. I think that's the closest thing he kind of has to those Sandman type powers that you will be traditionally used to. He can harden his skin to where it like literally it feels hard as hell. Like Noir states it as hard as like I think what it's called graphite. So those characters look really good. Cannot wait to see him. We also get a look at Felicia Hardy's character, the Noir version. What was it, Cat Hardy? She's not like the traditional Felicia Hardy Black Cat character, just like Sandman. She owns a nightclub which is called the Black Cat Nightclub. I think her father I think he was the original nightclub owner, or he was the original Black Cat. Again, don't quote me on that. It's been a minute since I looked at some of the Noir comics and all that type stuff. But she does become, I think, she becomes the White Widow in the comics. Her face gets like real scarred because she starts to get, I think, dirt on the Noir version of Goblin. So yeah. What else do we see? Some more swinging. We get to see him fighting. I don't think we're gonna get to see the revolvers. It doesn't look like it per se, which no biggie. But he just looks great, man. I haven't viewed it kind of in the color, but I'm definitely gonna see it in black and white. But he looks great, man. And it's so cool to see Nick Cage come back and reprise his role as Spider-Man Noir. Now that I've kind of got the trailer out the way and talked about the trailer and what was in it, some of the promo images, I do want to talk about the stance on this universe and like where it is and like where it stands in the grand scheme of the multiverse. So, as you know, Nicolas Cage voiced Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Verse movies, right? And of course, the universe he came from was also black and white, right? So that has gotten people to wonder where exactly is this universe, and for that, I'm not really sure. I feel like the safest bet would to be just make it make this the same Nicolas Cage, make this the same Spider-Man noir we saw in the Spider-Verse films, and this like be this, I don't know, be like maybe like an origin type film, and then maybe like a lead in to like Spider-Verse, you can, or it could be its own, one off thing, because then it'll kind of be like, well, then if he's animated, then why is he live action here? You know what I'm saying? But we do know there is a cross section between animated universes and live action universes. Of course, we see that in the latest into the or Across the Spider Verse um, movie, when we see Childish Gambino as live action the Prowler. Then we also see Andrew Garfield's Spider Man and that long line of all the different Peters who have lost different people in their lives. So we do know there's a cross section between those, but we don't know if they just, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Plus with Sony, having those rights to Spider-Man and all that, who knows how they're gonna do it. Hopefully it'll get revealed or whatever, but we're going into more deep dive into if this is the same universe. Is this just a noir universe that's in live action? Who knows? It would be really cool though if we do see a Rubik's Cube on his desk and it's the only thing in color. That would be like a nice quick nod to, there you go, then you know what universe this is or whatever. When I was watching the trailer for this initially, I went to the comments, and one of the comments said, "This feels like it should have been stuck in development hell. It's so cool to see it actually, come to life and be a real thing." And I honestly thought that was the perfect way to explain this project, because I remember when it first got announced, I thought this was never gonna come out because it just seemed so like, I want to say kind of different, but it seemed too good to be true. And it like now that it's here, we got all these different images and teasers. It's like, damn, this is really happening. It really does feel like one of those projects that that you would think wouldn't have made it or shouldn't have made it, but it did, and I'm so glad it did. But yeah, that was my little discussion or whatever about the Spider-Man Noir teaser that just came out, and I'm very excited for it. I will definitely try to do videos for it. I gotta remember when it comes out, because a whole bunch of shows that are about to come out and all of that. But yeah, that was my video, and hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.